Hi everyone! It feels good to do one of these hot takes again, and despite having months to think of a good one for the next video, I came up with this one in the last week during a livestream with the help of a viewer called @glitchstinger on YouTube. Which, if you are interested, I'm going to start streaming open panel discussions about FNAF lore, so feel free to hop on when you see one in the future because this is the most fun I've ever had in theory discussions. Now, with that shameless self-padding out of the way, on to the hot take, and rather than build up the suspense to the hot take itself, it feels like it would be more fun to throw it out right at the beginning, like jumping into a cold pool, so here it is. Phone Guy was the turncoat who told William and Henry about M2. Oh boy, grab the milk, because I bet that one was spicy. The annoying kind of spicy that lingers too, because like all good hot takes, you can't just throw out crazy ideas willy-nilly. No, the best hot takes are the ones that aren't outright provable, but have just enough evidence to be entirely possible. Now, if you really want the nitty-gritty on my full thoughts on this subject, you can go to my recent Dead by Daylight stream number 35 and skip to 6:07:44 and listen to the end where Glitch and I were talking about this in depth. But for the sake of keeping this submission brief, I will condense the conclusions we came to. First off, I would point out that in the staff contacts email written by William where he is talking about how he wants the Murray staff contact info and is willing to, quote, sweeten a deal, already made by also offering a manager position at one of the new franchise locations, it is notable that William never refers to this turncoat by name. But keep the idea that whoever he is talking to was offered a management position at a Freddy's in mind. Next, looking at Ralph specifically, from what I have seen, he is only mentioned in 2 of the emails, and I double-checked all of the audio logs, and there is no mention of Ralph in any of them. The 2 emails that for sure mention Ralph by name is group chat number 5 and theater, one more injury. In the group chat number 5 email, he says, quote, anyone notice that the door locks now? What are we supposed to do? Sleep here? These group chat emails are a way for Murray employees to discreetly complain about various problems throughout the facility, or how the company is being run, as discussed in the first 2 group chat emails. Ralph, being a part of this group chat, would imply to me that he also has a bone to pick with MCM or Edwin himself. To further add to this, we can look at one other email that mentions him by name. In theater, one more injury, an unnamed employee mentions that, quote, Ralph went to the hospital last night. That suit is going to be the death of us. One more injury, and I'm out of here. I mean it this time. Now, it's a bit of an extrapolation on my part, but I suspect it was the pirate captain suit that had malfunctioned which hurt Ralph. As in the Nurse Dolly intro cutscene, she mentions that, quote, this isn't your first visit to the service hospital. Either way, the point that on top of his complaint about the locking doors, he apparently also had to be sent to the hospital after a possible spring lock failure would give him plenty of motivation to turncoat. But wait, I can hear you say, how do we know that this Ralph is Phone Guy? Well, despite how the books are looked at now post Secret of the Mimic with much less importance, I do find it notable that the one time we are ever given a name for Phone Guy in any continuity was in the interactive novel the week before, released just a year ago, in which his name was Ralph. So, to quickly sum all this up, Ralph, along with many other employees, were growing increasingly frustrated with MCM and Edwin, as he sees others like Stan and his partner steal what they can and leave to do their own ventures. Ralph is approached by William Afton and offered not just a job, but a manager's position at this new Freddy Fazbear's Pizza restaurant, in exchange for the employee contacts list for MCM. Ralph, deciding to go above and beyond, does this and also informs William and Henry about M2, which not only gave them the motivation to not just siphon off talent from MCM, but the desire to completely take over MCM after Edwin refuses to share the blueprints for M2 with them, as heard in this audio tape.
Project update. I figured it out. There's a leak. Someone told them about M2. Well, they can't have it. Every copy has failed. I don't even know why it worked the first time. But it did. It's just not ready.
This sets into motion all of the events that come later, including his own death. On top of that, we would see Ralph demoted, most likely by Henry after the MCI, to be managing the security staff by FNAF 2, and lastly, demoted again to a lowly security guard by FNAF 1, likely for his employee being bitten in the bite of 87. So, that's my hot take. Trying my best to keep this brief, but feel free to follow if you like, and more theories and live streams coming soon. Thank you again, Not Real Name, for including my hot take, and I look forward to seeing what you and everyone else thinks.